Alexandra Eala admits she's in discomfort as possible injury issue arises. Filipino fans were delighted at the sight of their star player, Alexandra Eala, winning her first match at the inaugural Philippine Women's Open. Eala, the second seed in Manila, defeated Russia's Elena Alexandrovna in Monday's first-round contest. Despite the victory, there has been understandable concern for Eala after she ordered a medical timeout midway through her match to deal with a potential injury issue. After defeating Alexandrovna on Monday, Eala discussed the issue during her post-match press conference. Alexandra Eala notes a bit of discomfort in her right leg after opening win in the Philippines. Eala told reporters that she was feeling some discomfort in her right leg, but allayed any fears by claiming the issue was nothing serious. As reported by Tennis Asia, Eala said, "Yeah, there's a bit of discomfort, right leg, nothing serious. I have a day now to see how it goes. I'll just let it relax and wake up tomorrow and see how I feel." The Filipina star later added, "Pain is definitely part of an athlete's lifestyle, it's a part of the job, so we have to find ways to best manage that and not let it affect us mentally." Eala will face Himeno Sakitsum or now Hibino in the Philippine Women's Open round of 16. Eala has never played Hibino, but lost her only previous match against Sakitsum at the 2023 Japan Championships. If Eala defeats one of these Japanese players, she will play Camila Osorio or Mai Hantama in the quarterfinals. After defeating her Russian opponent, Eala posted a message on Instagram. She said, "My forever prayer is to be with you Filipinos." Eala also sent a profound message to tennis fans after she received crazy impressive support at the Australian Open. Eala's impressive statistic. Not since September 10, 2025 has Alexandra Eala won a higher percentage of points on her first serve as she did against Alexandrovna on Monday. The Filipina made 61% of her first serves, winning 77% of those points, as per SofaScore. It has been 19 matches since the 20-year-old has registered such an impressive performance on her first serve. 4 months ago, at the São Paulo Challenger, Eala defeated Julia Rivera 6-1, 6-4. At the end of the contest, Eala had made 70% of her first serves, winning 84% of those points. Alexandra Eala and the quiet language of discomfort. Discomfort rarely announces itself with drama. It does not always arrive as a sharp cry or a sudden collapse. More often, it slips in quietly, an unfamiliar tightness, a hesitation in movement, a whisper in the body that says something is not quite right. For Alexandra Eala, that whisper has begun to speak louder. She admits it plainly, she is in discomfort. Not defeat, not despair, just discomfort. And in the world of elite sport, those words carry weight. Eala has always played with a sense of forward motion, her feet light, her strokes decisive, her gaze fixed on the next point rather than the last mistake. She is part of a generation taught to believe that momentum is everything. Keep moving, keep improving, keep proving. Yet discomfort interrupts momentum. It asks questions no athlete wants to answer too soon. Is this temporary? Is this serious? Do I push through or do I pause? On court, discomfort shows itself in subtle ways. A fraction of a second slower to reach the ball. A swing that finishes just a little shorter than usual. A pause between points where the breath lingers longer than it should. To the casual observer, it may look like nothing. To the athlete, it is everything. Eala's journey has never been simple. From a young age, she carried not only her own ambitions but the hopes of a nation eager to see itself reflected on the global tennis stage. Every match has been more than a match. Every win has felt symbolic. Every loss, instructive. She learned early that pain is part of progress. Blisters harden into calluses. Losses sharpen focus. Fatigue builds endurance. But injury, or the possibility of it, belongs to a different category. It is not a lesson you seek. It is not a challenge you can outwork without consequence. It demands listening, patience, humility. Qualities that do not come easily to competitors wired to fight. There is a particular loneliness in athletic discomfort. You can be surrounded by coaches, trainers, fans, and cameras, yet the body remains yours alone. Only you feel the ache when you plant your foot. Only you sense the strain when you rotate your shoulder. Language struggles to capture it. Discomfort becomes a compromise word, honest enough to acknowledge something is wrong, vague enough to leave the future undecided. For Eala, this moment arrives not as a full stop, but as a comma. She stands at a crossroads familiar to many great athletes before her. Push forward and risk turning discomfort into damage. Step back and risk losing rhythm, ranking, relevance. The sport does not wait. Tournaments move on. Draws change. New names emerge. Tennis, in its indifference, continues. Yet growth does not always mean acceleration. Sometimes it means restraint. There is courage in admitting discomfort. In a culture that celebrates playing through pain, acknowledging vulnerability can feel like weakness. But it is not. It is awareness. It is the understanding that a career is not built on one tournament, one season, one brave but reckless decision. Eala's story, even now, is not defined by what might be wrong, but by how she responds to uncertainty. This is where character reveals itself, not in trophies lifted, but in choices made quietly, away from the roar of the crowd. Perhaps she will rest, recalibrate, return stronger. Perhaps the discomfort will fade, leaving behind only a memory and a lesson. Or perhaps it will force her to adapt, to change training patterns, adjust expectations, redefine what progress looks like in this chapter of her life. Whatever the outcome, this moment matters. Because every athlete eventually learns that the body is not a machine. It is a partner. When it speaks, even softly, it deserves attention. Ignoring it may bring short-term victories, but listening to it builds longevity. Alexandra Eala is still young. Her story is still unfolding. Discomfort, in the grand narrative of her career, may become a footnote or a turning point. Either way, it humanizes her. It reminds us that behind the rankings and results is a person negotiating limits in real time. And perhaps that is the quiet power of this admission. Not fear, not fragility, but honesty. In acknowledging discomfort, Eala does not step back from her dreams. She protects them. Because sometimes the bravest move an athlete can make is not to chase the next point, but to pause, breathe, and listen to what the body has been trying to say all along.